Bitcoin broke out to the upside from the megaphone formation, guys. This is very interesting because we are seeing some warning signals over in different charts, which I want to share with you in today's video. I also have a warning to all Ethereum holders because we do see a little bit something I think it might be important for you if you are holding Ethereum, especially which has to do with this coming bull market, 16-year cycle, and how altcoins might behave during that cycle, especially Ethereum, okay? So guys, let's jump straight into it. What we are seeing right here is this megaphone pattern where we have been talking about. We did broke that resistance, like mentioning in yesterday's video. We did got a push, so this looks like definitely a confirmed breakout. That would say that Bitcoin is on its way to 28 to 30,000 US dollars right here. I think that is a very realistic level to watch in the shorter term time frame. That also is previous support right here. So I do expect that we can see a reaction from that level. Also, there's a very important date coming up, and yeah, I want to see some specific things at that date, and we might see a potential reversal afterwards. That is not sure yet because that date should go together with different signs like premium index and so on. But if we go to whaleportal, we do see that the trend of Bitcoin entering exchanges continues. This is something I've been talking about in my previous video as well. This trend is continuing. We are seeing the funding rates to continue to be positive. So that is just something to watch. That is actually something to watch, because that doesn't mean that Bitcoin right now is going to dump or correct, but that might be a sign that big players, whales, are right now already preparing to take some profits, right? So that might not be right now. We might see that one last push because we don't really have that much resistance at this specific level. We are a little bit trading between two zones, right? We just broke that neckline right here, the resistance, and we right now in the middle of the next resistance and support. So I would say it would make more sense for Bitcoin to push through, touch that resistance, maybe even get a fake out above it, and then afterwards coming back down. But yeah, for now that is not clear yet. I do think we can see a continued move to the upside, but very important, bigger players are right now preparing to take some profits. Otherwise, Bitcoin is not being sent to exchanges. This is not this metric, to be honest, can be it has some flaws, because if big exchange wallets like receiving some bitcoins or internal transactions, it could flash, right? The only thing that we are tracking are public exchange wallets. But normally, if you look at these previous times where the Bitcoin balance on exchanges spiked, we often saw that coming along with, after a couple of moments, so it's not a direct indicator, but after some time, Bitcoin coming back down again would make really a lot of sense if you ask me. Then I want to talk with you about the S&P 500. This is a chart which is a little bit spooky right now because it looks like we could see a big correction in the S&P 500. Why? Because we broke below the 200-day moving average right here. We had a daily close above, but right now we daily close back below it. And that is something we see quite often. So for example, right here, daily close above, daily close below, followed by a dump. So actually, I was hoping for a daily close above, holding above, and just continue this uptrend. But so far, we're getting new information that is just basically not the case. We are right now trading back below the 200-day moving average. So this is something we need to watch, because if there's a lot of panic in the markets, I think that could go along with Bitcoin correcting. So maybe this is pure speculation, guys. I'm just saying maybe we get that one last push up in the Bitcoin price, maybe to 30K, maybe even a small fake out to the upside. And then once the S&P 500 coming down, Bitcoin is going to correct along with the S&P 500. That is one of the scenarios that I'm watching. And I'm going to try to take exact profits right here at the right moment if we get that push. And if you want to know exactly when to take those profits or when that premium signal is going to flash, make sure to join WhaleAlerts by joining bybit with the affiliate link down below. Then guys, I want to go with you to Ethereum. And actually, I want to go with you to Ethereum against Bitcoin. Let me get rid of that moving average. If we look just at the price structure, then we can see we had a rising channel. The bottom is supported. The middle is very significant. The top is very significant. This is like a long-term uptrend, right? Macro uptrend. But what we are seeing right now is that actually Ethereum broke out to the downside. This is in the Bitcoin valuation. So this tells us basically that the value of Ethereum against Bitcoin is decreasing. But normally if we were to be at support right here, I would be like, okay, you buy at support. But right now it looks like we are trying to break out of this macro structure. We have some horizontal support coming in, and I do want to say that if Ethereum can break back into this in this rising channel, then I would see this as a big buying opportunity to flip some Bitcoin into ETH to exchange it later for more Bitcoin, right? The only reason I would trade Ethereum is just to get more Bitcoin. But to be honest, this is not looking too good. It looks like we have a descending triangle, horizontal support, and we could lose that support any moment right here on the weekly time frame. So don't get me wrong, we still can do something like this. But it looks like Ethereum is leaving the structure. And I thought we normally don't talk that much about altcoins, but I think this is important enough to mention, because if you are a big Ethereum holder, this could get ugly. I'm not sure, because we still could break back into this channel, but maybe because we are seeing right now the last bull market, and that last bull market is very different than previous bull markets, right? Most likely the blocks are turned, so we have like 1 year up, 3 years down. We have a very long bear market coming up, and maybe this rally that we are going to see in Bitcoin might outperform Ethereum. Maybe this bull market, Bitcoin is going to outperform a lot of different altcoins, like for example Ethereum. On the one hand, for me, it would make sense. It would make sense because I think this bull market is going to be different, and we have already seen Ethereum in a very macro uptrend, and losing that uptrend sooner or later definitely would make sense. And you can see it already right here. We have a high, and we are just like losing a bit momentum. If you can see, we're losing a bit momentum. And if you watch the videos of Benjamin Cowen, he's also often talking about Ethereum has to go home. And with home, he means to way lower levels than that we are actually seeing right now. If we look at the Bitcoin dominance, guys, we do see some form of a Adam and Eve pattern of a W formation. We go down, we make W, and then we could break the neckline. If we break that neckline, guys, that means that liquidity of the crypto markets is focused into Bitcoin, which means Ethereum would go down in Bitcoin valuation. All the altcoins would go down in Bitcoin validation. So also, actually, a breakout of this neckline could mean two things, because when is the Bitcoin dominance going up? It's only going up in two scenarios. Either Bitcoin goes on a massive rally, or Bitcoin is dumping. If Bitcoin moves sideways, the dominance is not going up. You can see it right now. Bitcoin goes on a rally, we have a push in the Bitcoin dominance. So that's how it works. So maybe we even get a breakout, and that comes along with a Bitcoin dump or a Bitcoin pump. But that is going to be very interesting, because look at the S&P 500, guys. This is kind of a little bit scary. I think Bitcoin generally is looking very good, but the S&P 500 is just looking scary. Losing the 200-day, this might result in quite a big drop in the S&P 500. Doesn't have to be, but just if we look at the probabilities from previous times that we did something like this, the S&P 500 just dropped quite a bit, and I just have a hard time believing that Bitcoin wouldn't get affected by that at all. We are seeing that narrative right now, right? Or banks falling down, Bitcoin going up. That is really beautiful. And it is definitely possible for Bitcoin to continue to skyrocket, even though the S&P 500 is going down. But I would still say that if there will be global panic in the markets, global panic in risk on assets, I do think that there will be some panic in Bitcoin too. But like I said, it really depends. We have to see it level for level. I think right now the next resistance is roughly at 30,000 US dollars. I think we can touch that level. It's really important to see what we are going to do on this specific date, because the stock market, it really looks like the stock market is going to go further down right now. That's just straightforward. That's just what it looks like, right? But Bitcoin still between support and resistance. I think Bitcoin still needs to tap that, resistance before we can actually see a correction, and maybe we can even see something like breaking that resistance and take it from there. But my first scenario is Bitcoin pumping to resistance, maybe get a rejection, get some form of a correction together with the S&P 500, and we will see if that happens, or we break above that resistance, backtest as support, and go up. I see that right now as the less likely scenario, although it is completely possible. It is Bitcoin, so you never know with Bitcoin. And we also have on the Bitcoin futures chart, we do have a gap below us at 20k. So I do think that gap sooner or later will be filled. So if you are on spot and you're just waiting to re-enter for Bitcoin for long-term positions, I would just say hold or set your buy orders around that CME futures gap. Okay guys, that was it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a thumbs up. That is very much appreciated. If you are new, make sure to subscribe. If you are interested in getting these alerts, so for example, whenever the Bitcoin balance on exchanges increases, there also will be an automatic alert into that WhaleAlerts channel, that premium index signal as well. You can join WhaleAlerts by just joining Bybit with the affiliate link down below, or with clicking on this image right here on the whaleportal website. You join Bybit, you deposit a minimum of $100 and then afterwards you just submit your user ID, email address and Telegram handle. For the people that are living in the United States, so they cannot get a Bybit account, you can also join with bitget. But that's only for people who are living in the United States. And if you want to be able to do that, you have to send me an email at theblockchaintoday@gmail.com. Okay guys, that was it for today's video. Wish you all a beautiful day today. I love you all very much and I hope to see every single one of you in the next video.